So I was having this argument with this guy, this dickhead, on yet another Facebook group. It was concerning medical cannabis this time, and I was talking about this whole story of me going to the police in 2015 initially with this story that people at the University of East Anglia in 2014 had spiked me with the intention of getting me to fall down a staircase and either killing or seriously injuring me. And then they spiked me a second time, which I also mentioned to the police in 2015, a few weeks before I reported it to the police, with the intention, I think, of eliciting some kind of psychotic response. However, in any case, I was bringing up all these points in this argument on this Facebook group, and he was like saying, "Oh, this is all just conspiracy theory BS." It's like, don't you see really the major problem here? This is like you're saying, "Oh, this is just some conspiracy government." You think there's some government conspiracy or something? Yeah, it's like people are forcibly medicating people for believing in a government conspiracy. You're exactly right. Yes, I do believe in a government conspiracy involving myself. Yes, I do believe that people tried to murder me in the past. I believe that agents of the state were involved in covering this up. I am allowed to believe that, you fucking cretin. They don't fucking understand. It's like you don't think we've got any rights in this country. We can't go locking up conspiracy theorists. What was your malfunction there? And I haven't been locked up for reporting these things to the police, saying this is state terrorism that Nikki and her son and everyone else is involved in. My dad's girlfriend Nicola Lewis and all these other people. Yeah, it's a state terrorism issue on a level. They're implying they wield a certain amount of the state's power or have a certain amount of influence within the state, and they're doing that to manipulate and cow and intimidate all sorts of people and frighten people. And she's manipulating the NHS into wielding state power and the police into wielding state power to have me sectioned if I say the wrong thing on the internet, or if I accidentally do something that could create a pretext for having me sectioned, they'll do that as well. This is kidnapping. This is, trying to silence people, using state power, using the threat of, being sent to a secure facility, of being locked up. You're going to get locked up for saying the wrong thing about the government. In the United Kingdom, this has happened. And yet, in 2015, by the way, after all this stuff in 2014 had happened, all this weird stuff, in 2014 and 2015, when Jethro re-entered the picture. And, I suspected I'd sort of made this connection between Miles and amateur dramatics and Cambridge, this guy, Miles Cooper Bradley, who apparently used to work for the Essex police. I thought, oh, there could be a connection there with Jethro. That's interesting. And then Jethro pops up a few months later. I'm like, I see that being possible still, but in any case, back in 2015, I was kicking the hornet's nest to some extent with the police and everything, getting myself sectioned. So I at least wanted to see what would happen if I made this report to the police. So I did. I told the police everything that I thought had happened. This plot about them trying to kill me on the staircase, this second spiking incident. I told them about all sorts of things I think it connected to in my life. The sectioned involves a police officer trying to save the reputation of the police or protect the reputation of the police, locking someone up for believing and saying the wrong stuff, saying it's all a delusion, except there's no evidence that undermines it or rational argument that undermines it. So it's not a delusion for one thing. However, even if it were a delusion, because these David Icke people who believe that everyone in government is like a reptile, they can't get locked up for that. No, that's protected under the Human Rights Act, under Article 9. It's a freedom of conscience issue. It's a political belief. It's an opinion about power and government and politics. Can't do it. It's deeply wrong. It's evil, is what it is. It's when these sorts of things happen to you, it's very hard, actually, in the first instance, to really believe that it's happening to you, or to really, understand the significance of what's happening. But the first time I was sectioned, like, I never expected that to happen. After having said that to a police officer, or police officers and psychiatrists from the NHS and social workers from Norfolk Council, like, this can't happen, not in this country. Surely, sure enough, it did. It did. There I am in the system without freedom. Suddenly, terrifying, unreal. It's unbelievable. It's not. It is unbelievable. It's hard to believe it, but nonetheless, they do. And yeah, then when in the successive years, all the efforts pointed us as saying, well, this sounds like the sort of thing that a crazy person might say. It was people trying to kill me. Yes, I believe they're connected to you people, and you're trying to convince me that people aren't trying to kill me. I'm suspicious of you because of this woman's connections and so on. I'm suspicious of loads of people in my life. Not everyone, obviously, but I mean, yeah, loads and loads of people who I've met in my past connected to. Jess Rose, his mum was head of the Avon and Wiltshire Mental Health Partnership in the past. JP's mum, there's connections there. Nikki, connections there, because she's the head of the Adult Health and Social Care Wiltshire Council before it was divided into 3 different departments by her. Rebrand, new logos, like, you paid for that. Like, you're a waste of fucking skin. That's the problem with you. Waste of oxygen. You do something easy for huge amounts of money, public money. Yeah, God, what a disgusting old crow creature, a carrion feeder. Just like axing people's jobs, getting money from the Conservative Party. We're getting like Tory austerity sacking person money. Oh, a dirty, evil waste of space. It's after about 50 million quid worth of development land of my father's. Oh, and make me go insane. So you can put it all into a discretionary trust and siphon it away with Pat Brain as expenses money. I think that's roughly how it all works out, isn't it? That's it. This is totalitarianism. And yeah, you probably knew full well I had OCD and anxiety, the rest of it. Treat with antipsychotics to make the OCD worse, i.e. torture. Or maybe not quite torture, but inhuman and degrading treatment, or degrading treatment, or inhuman treatment, however it breaks down. Jesus Christ. Just after a bit of money at all costs. Psychopaths, really. Amazing, but 5 times section for, thinking the wrong stuff, saying the wrong things. Oh dear. Intimidated, coerced into taking meds, intimidated, threatened. Parents and Nikki by Nikki by the proxy of my dad, because it's he's just wrapped around her finger, like her puppet, basically, roughly. It's terrible to see. Sad anyway. She'll just get shuffled into some psych ward when he finally loses his mind, for whatever reason he does. And she'll get lasting power of attorney. That'll be what happens. Georgia had to fight him off, assist him. Oh well, bye. Love you lots.